Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the strategy of solving the questions of polity in UPPCS, and I'm also going to share you with reference to some of the questions asked in UPPCS 2023 preliminary examination. We are just going to look into the pre-trend of asking the questions from polity. Now let's look into the questions. So the first question be like this: which among the following provision part of the constitution is not correctly matched? We have to find out as to which one is wrong. So let's look into the options. The Union Territories, Part 8, the Scheduled and Tribal Areas, Part 10, Tribunals, Official Language, and we are having certain other options, right? So let's look into this. If you have learned and gone through the topics of parts and schedules, I hope you are all able to understand this. Parts in schedules, then you would be able to solve this question easily. And here also we understand that these topics are of utmost importance, because I even noticed that one more question was asked later on also from the very same topic. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Here we have certain articles, and especially this article which I have seen a lot in PYQs, that is Finance Commission wala, Article 280, right? This article 315, which is related to Public Service Commission, this is also very important. So all these articles are very important. The articles related to National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Election Commission, all of them hold a lot of importance and are important to be covered up. So it would be good that if we go through these things, and constitutional bodies, non-constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, and I even have this to show it to you once. Please go through this. I hope you are able to see this. Here we have the list of constitutional bodies and extra constitutional bodies. Over here we have the name of all these bodies, and the articles are also mentioned here. Can you see Finance Commission written here, the article mentioned here, the tenure and the composition? So these are all important enough and we need to go through this. I hope this chart is very helpful to you, because it is actually having all those important things which we were just looking a minute before in the question which was asked in the paper last year. Even UPSC ka this article is also mentioned here. We got this article. Article 338 was also there. National Commission for SCs, National Commission for STs is Article 338A, and for BCs is Article 338B. So of course all of these articles are of utmost importance, and Attorney General, Advocate General are also very important, and CAG is always important because it is a question which is raised in mains, prelims, everywhere. So we need to go through this, and other bodies are also mentioned here. We need to learn the name of the constitutional bodies, because of course it is asked again and again in prelims and UPSC as well as UPPSC prelims. Now next is consider the following events and arrange these in correct chronological order, starting from the earliest to the last activity. Now looking into this chronological question, though I find it a little difficult to learn it up, to be very honest, but of course Lakshmikant is a good option for this. Drafting committee and framing of constitution and other things mentioned in Lakshmikant can be of great help to all of us, and we can solve this question through it easily. Moving on to the next question. Question number 4. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and other as reason, right? So assertion and reason. The President can recommend to the Parliament to change the boundary of any state after seeking views of the concerned legislature of that state on the subject within specified period. Reason: it is not mandatory for the President to accept the proposal of the concerned state legislature. Both A and R are true, but R is not correct explanation of A. I hope this is correct and clear to you. We have studied this again in the book also. If you have gone through the chapter very nicely, we have read this in the chapter President, Parliament, and if I refer to elections also, which is an important topic according to our current events taking place, so go through these topics. I mean, I have written the name of the topics which are quite important from current as well as static point of view, so you can go through all these topics. And again, precedent in parliament are very important topics. Questions are asked from this almost every year, and in ROARO also we saw certain type of questions mentioned there. Now next is with reference to the election of the Vice President of India, which is declared void by the Supreme Court of India, which of the following statement is are correct? The acts done by him as Vice President before such declaration are considered valid. Of course, this is correct. Next is, the acts done by him as Vice President on the day of such declaration are not considered valid. How can this be possible? Like, once we are saying कि उसके पहले का whatever he does is considered valid, and that in the next very moment this is an opposite statement. So of course the first one is correct. If we have read this chapter very nicely and this pattern of question has been asked many a times, so we would be able to differentiate and find out the correct answer very easily. So again, we need to go through this topic of Vice President also. It is important. Who among the following is the first woman speaker in Lok Sabha? I guess I had read this thing in my class 10th ki civics wali book when I was giving my boards. So Meera Kumar is the correct answer. We can even find it in Lucent or any other GK kind of book. Next is, which one of the following pairs scheduled subjects is not correctly matched? Again, it is asking not correctly matched. So the one which is wrong is ninth schedule, allocation of seats in the Council of States. So please tell me in the comment section as to which schedule would be the correct answer for this one. Which schedule would be the right answer for this question, right? Or ninth schedule mein kya aata hai? Do mention that also. So again, I told you this chapter which has schedules mentioned in it is very important. You can see as to how I have covered all these topics, right? In this video, all these topics are of very much importance, and everything is mentioned over here. So go through this. Important articles are also mentioned here. And this is the way we need to go through these things, these topics properly and in a very synchronized manner, right? Look into what has been asked earlier. See, DPSP is also of a lot of importance. DPSP, fundamental duties, fundamental rights, these topics are of a lot of importance. Even I have read certain topics in the highlights of the bill in Idrishti, I guess. Yeah. So here I can see all these topics, and you all might have studied it earlier. So please go and look into all these things which can be most probably asked in the questions in the examination. Fundamental rights, all the articles related to fundamental rights are very important. You can be asked any question from anywhere from fundamental rights, fundamental duties and DPSPs, since these are very important. Now fundamental duties are also there, so please go through this. When was it added? Through which amendment was it added? According to the recommendation of which committee? It was Sardar Swaran Singh committee. So I'm not getting drifted from whatever question I was discussing, but I'm just telling you that these are very important topics which you need to look into very nicely and thoroughly. Now moving to the questions we were discussing on. I guess seventh one is done. Now next is the Constitution of India initially permitted the use of English language for all official purposes for a period of 15 years. To be very honest, at that time when I was giving the exam, I did not know the answer of this question exactly, but we can go through this we can solve this up by going through the chapter of official languages. Now next is question 9. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion and other as reason. The President is a part of the Parliament. A bill passed by the two houses of the Parliament cannot become a law without the assent of the President. Select the correct answer using the quote given below. So, of course, we can see the correct answer. You all can see the correct answer to this question. First of all, we are having both the statements true. by reading only you might have understood. And the second statement is justifying the first statement, right? President is definitely a part of the parliament. I hope we have all read this thing very nicely. And bills are also an important topic. Bills, finance bill, money bill, ordinary bills, articles which mention all these bills, like article 110, article 117. So these are important enough and we need to go through it. Even joint sitting of both the houses, you need to look into this topic very nicely. Next is Union Finance Commission. I told you earlier also that Finance Commission is very important. In the beginning also you were asked this question. Now again, a Finance Commission, and I guess the chairman of the Finance Commission was also changed. 16th Finance Commission के chairman का change किया गया है, and the person who has been elected as a 16th Finance Commission is Dr. Arvind Panagaria. Right, so this was a current affair related question. Now moving on to the question back again, you need to look into all these things. They can ask you in any form related to this topic, right? So we have Finance Commission has a chairman and 6 members. I hope you all noticed it up that here, whatever chart I had shown you up, it is this one. Yeah, over here, can you see Finance Commission written here? Finance Commission, article and term, and how many members are there, right? Chairman plus 4 members. So you all have seen this up, and we have got a question also over here. So what did you learn from this? That we need to go through all these topics very nicely. So this is wrong, because Finance Commission has a chairman and 6 members. यहाँ पे 6 बोल रहा है, and we had read at the back that it has a chairman and 4 members, right? So this is wrong, and it submits its report to the Niti Aayog. Again, this is totally wrong. So you need to tell me in the comment section as to whom does he submit his report to. Now both the statements are wrong. So we need to look into how many topics: Finance Commission, Niti Aayog, Attorney General, Comptroller and Auditor General, right? And in addition to the articles wherever they are mentioned. Consider the following statements concerning the powers of the Supreme Court to issue certain writs to stop violation of fundamental rights. The Supreme Court has power to issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari and quo warranto, which is appropriate for the enforcement of fundamental rights, and Parliament may by law empower any other court to exercise within its jurisdiction the powers given to Supreme Court. And the notes which I had shown you below, I guess you noticed that High Court and Supreme Court, both topics were mentioned over there. I mean, the content related to it was mentioned there, and this is also a very important topic. And you might have read that writs, meaning of each writ, right? They can ask you in any form this question, because writs is a very important topic. And article 32 and 226 are related to the writs, right? 32 is related to the writs enforceable by the Supreme Court, and the next one is related to High Court, right? And Parliament, Supreme Court again is of very importance, and functions of the Supreme Court are also important enough to be gone through. With reference to the Attorney General of India, which of the following statements are correct? A person is appointed as Attorney General who is qualified to be appointed as a judge of the Supreme Court. The Attorney General can be removed through the same process as the judges of the Supreme Court, right? So again, this is very important. Removal of judges, removal of all the constitution important personalities in the constitution mentioned in the constitutional body. It is also very important. Removal and appointment. So these are important things which you need to go through, of judges of Supreme Court and Attorney General also. And judges is very important. It is often asked a lot. It is frequently asked and is of very importance. Next, 13th one, with reference to the composition of the Legislative Council in a state of India, which of the following statement are correct? In the Legislative Council, there may not be more than one-third members of the total membership of the Legislative Assembly of that state. The Legislative Council of a state must have at least 40 members in it. Of course, we have read this topic a number of times, and this comes in state legislature. So you need to go through the portion of state legislature very nicely. State legislature, high courts, these are also very important for all of us to go through. Moving on to the next question. With reference to the representation of Uttar Pradesh in Parliament, which of the following, ये भी बहुत important है, and this is where we lag many a times. We do not read this, but this is very important. So 31 seats allocated for Rajya Sabha and 80 members of Lok Sabha are elected. So we have read this in UP special also, and in UP special ki Ghatna Chakra also, and in PYQs also. This is of course related to PYQ. We have solved certain questions sometime in the previous year, right? So of course UP seats in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha are also very important. Even you need to go through as to how many members are there in UP की Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. ठीक है. Now next question is, with reference to the posts in Secretariat of the Parliament, which of the following statements are correct? So you need to go through this topic, Secretariat of Parliament. This is a new topic and a lot of importance is also attached to it. Next is, which of the following statements is not true regarding Gram Sabha? So Panchayat, municipality, all these topics are holding importance because they are often asked in many a times asked in UPSC as well as UPPSC, and Panchayat is definitely one of the favorite topics, right? Municipality, Panchayat, in which article do they lie, in which part do they lie, in which schedule do they lie, when were they inserted in the constitution, so when inserted and through which amendment, etc. So these are the things which we need to look into very nicely. In Election Commission of India, Panchayati Raj institutions, State Election Commission and State Legislature, these are the topics which we need to again look into, and since they are mentioned in the options also, so they hold importance, because any other question can be put up the very next year from either of these topics, any of these topics. All elections to the panchayats are conducted by the State Election Commission, right? क्योंकि पंचायत के elections को State Election Commission ही तो करेगा ना, because it is a which kind of body? You all will tell me up in the comment section. Panchayat is a decentralized body na, so State Election Commission looks into the election of this thing. Now next is, with reference to the recommendations of the Ashok Mehta committee, again committees are of importance to us, on Panchayati Raj, which of the following statements are correct? So both the statements were correct. And Panchayati Raj institution is again important. See, you yourself saw that 2-3 questions were put from Panchayat itself in the paper last year. The resignation letter by a Supreme Court, again this topic is important, of Supreme Court judge of Supreme Court and High Court, both of them are of a lot of importance. इनसे हमेशा question पूछे जाते हैं, and here we go through it. The resignation letter by a judge of Supreme Court is addressed to the Prime Minister. So PM, President, their powers, right, or all of them are important enough to be gone through. Judges of Supreme Court and High Court, CJI powers also, everything. Next is Article 20. Which of the following is not a part of the Article 20 of the Constitution of India? So we have learnt all these things, that prohibition against self-incrimination, double jeopardy, ex post facto law, all these things are important enough, and this one is left out because we have not read this in Article 20 even. So it is very easy for us to eliminate this wrong answer from here. Which of the following provisions is a part of both directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights? I told you that DPSP, FD and FR, these are very important and we need to look into this topic thoroughly. Uniform Civil Code article, which article does it come under? Now next is, with reference to the joint sitting of parliament, which statement is are correct? तो इसका तो सीधे सीधे सबसे wrong portion हो जाएगा. It is article 108 and here it is written 109, so it is wrong. 108 provides for the joint sitting of both houses in certain cases, right? And the speaker presides the joint sitting of the two houses of parliament. This is correct. So the correct answer would be only 2, because this is wrong. Article 108 tells us for this. And I told you that joint sitting of both the houses and bills are important. And so we have learnt also. So these are the topics I've shown you up also, that you need to look into these topics. Again, I'm showing you up high courts, appointment of judges. See, can you see? Chief Justice of High Court is appointed by President of India in consultation with Chief Justice of India and Governor of the concerned state. The tenure is also mentioned. It is also very important. There is no fixed tenure for judges of High Courts. High Court judge holds office until he attains the age of 62 years, right? So here we need to look into all these topics. We need to see that who has additional judges, acting Chief Justice and acting judge. Does High Court have it, and does even Supreme Court has all these 3 posts and people? We need to look into this very nicely. Next is this topic, which is again very important, that I told you also earlier. Next is fundamental duties. Where has it been derived from? What does it consist of? Through which act was it added? Amendment Act was it added? Through which recommendation? And so on. Parliament topic is also very important, and judicial review is mentioned in which one, from where has it been taken. Yes, sources of the constitution, I forgot to write it out. Sources of the constitution are also very important. Sources of certain things in the constitution are also very important. Next is fundamental duties, parliament, and fundamental rights. What does each right say? Like abolition to untouchability, of untouchability, abolition of titles, equality of opportunity in public matters of public employment. Recently, UP may say there was something which was some amendment was I guess passed or something of this sort, which told to close the madrasas in this state. So it can be correlated to the other topics of freedom of religion and all that. You need to look into it very nicely. The other things which are mentioned in our current affairs are also very important. So here is our video, and I hope all of you might have understood everything. Thank you. I hope this video was informative to all of you.